Part of me is keen on phrasing this series as a modern parody of Noah's Ark, in a sense. Same results at the very least. I mean, different circumstances. One was judgment on the world, and then, revitalization of man, and the other is an alien attack. And I'll read the synopsis, again, verbatim in a second, but it's basically kind of the same result. We have human beings left on the Earth, a much smaller group, it seems, than what originally populated and dominated our planet, that have to decide how to best dictate the future of life amid perhaps unforeseen chaos. It could be quite funny. I mean, it's an animated project, supposedly. This is going to be a Netflix original debut, and their animation projects have done pretty well in the past, and I'm curious to engage with it. Daniel Radcliffe is in this, gives it, I'm sure, plenty of social traction among his fans, as well as name recognition. I haven't looked at the rest of the cast in great depth. Oh, Tina Fey is also in, and Ronnie Chiang. Okay, so this is definitely going for more of a comedic episode. Edibiria, if I'm pronouncing the name right, I might be wrong. I've heard that name swung around a couple places as well. Kevin Richardson, too. This is definitely going for, I would say, a stronger comedy side, the story. I would definitely say, doomsday apocalypse type stories can have that edge. And Netflix has done pretty well, I would say, in the animated comedy market, even more specifically, with a sci-fi connection that maybe Mulligan could entertain. I mean, this is very much a first introduction. It's still early days in regards to its marketing cycle, but I'm curious to engage with it. Like I said, modern retelling of Noah's Ark, at least in the consequences of the situation. If you want, and like I said, the verbatim synopsis, this is what IMDb describes. After an alien attack destroys the Earth, what remains of humanity is the chance to start society over from scratch. So that's a question maybe I would pose to you, and I would even wonder myself, how would you, continue on, right? That'd be you taking on the Noah responsibility. I mean, it'd probably be even more convicting if you were to operate from, like myself, the Christian perspective, right? How would you revitalize the world in respect to God? But broadly speaking, I mean, that'd be a complicated question. I mean, I get so tired of this question, especially growing up. I hated it, and I know probably there are many kids that do as well, because it's such a routine thing. Like, how would how are you going to change the world someday or whatever? Well, in this case, you'd have no other choice but to answer the question. I was so tired of being asked that by people. I mean, again, it's such a cliche statement. I'm more of an originalist guy, so of course statements like that just don't appeal to me, but everybody would just continually ask that. In this case, you would be forced to answer that question for yourself, and I wouldn't know where to begin. Like, well, to be fair, most of the problems, at least in our, that could be, a fun element of escapism to the project as well. You got somebody looking at this, and maybe this could describe you, where you're like, oh, this idea that every trouble we have in present day in the world is abandoned completely. It's gone, right? Because we had aliens come in and just take everything away. I mean, granted, they took probably half the population as well, or maybe more. I don't know. Maybe they pulled the snap on you. I mean, I need to add a Marvel reference in, I guess. But, that would be at least... So there's some bliss to the chaos, at least in the respect of, the problems are gone. Let's start fresh. But then you're like, that's even more complications. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do myself. Anywho, let's entertain Mulligan and see how strong it is as a project. Like I said, though, animation has done pretty well for Netflix thus far, at least from my understanding. And this is a good, strong cast lineup, and I think interesting foundation. Contemplative idea. Let's see how satisfactory the delivery is. Well, they're all, Hollywood's gone. I wouldn't shed a tear. Sorry. I can't help but state the truth.
Who's them?
She was on a hang glider too. Like, where'd she come from? Like the awards ceremony?
Gonna blow up the planet, but I'd get to meet you.
Oh, okay. Now? Kind of a weird time, but...
This is more like a first look clip. I'm fine with that.
I got this. I may not be smart. The only real job I ever had was letting scientists spray perfume in my eyes. So yeah, I may not be good at lists or like planning how I'm gonna get home from places.
Okay, cool. Earth is counting on you.
But if there's one thing I can do, it's bring the high heat.
I wonder how many ages this is going to be intended for. Like, does it have a wide audience appeal, or is this adult animation? Because if it's adult, if it's family, I'm getting a rather clean presence here, which is why I question it. But I could see if it's going down the adult comedy path. And it's doing very well in that respect.
Hang on!
That boy did it. He destroyed the alien hive mind.
That's what I call a home run.
Now what do we do?
Now, we rebuild. Or whatever.
Okay, so now I'm just fully naked. And that's the guy who defeated me.
Thanks to you, a small, precious piece of humanity survived. But these people are gonna need someone to lead them.
Seems like a good mix, at least of what I could presumably be in some occupational capacities. Gives this series some variety and atmosphere.
A grenade pin. It's like a fairy tale. Because we just met, and before that I was unconscious for a while.
Don't worry, me and Lucy are gonna fix everything.
How long is this clip? Okay.
I should have stayed awake in school more.
Maddie, Mr. President, is inflammable the same as flammable or the opposite? Okay, it's the same. Which is funny, right?
I'm going to assume this is going for mixed age, though I don't know. Again, that's a very clean first presentation. And I've engaged with a lot, at least on that animated style and illustration that reminds... It does bring back adult fare. I say adult, again, like I said, in the respect of maybe mature presence, more... how do I say it? You often find more swearing or more adult themes, darker humor, crude humor that might be woven in. I mean, you have some projects along those lines, like I've said, that might be quite competent. I've engaged with pieces that fit along those lines, and I've had a good time, but just watching this series, again, it puts me a bit of a, how do I say it? Confusion of maybe what audience this is going to be going for. I'm going to assume that it's going for family, or that really anybody could watch it. Maybe not necessarily, maybe not family, maybe like tween, teen age and adults. It's going to have that mixed appeal. And if that's the direction it goes down, I think it could be quite fun. I mean, like I said, it's a very engaging series. Maybe a bit typical, at least in respects, maybe on, again, what you would first feel if you were scrolling through, let's say this is on broadcast TV and you're just going for your TV guide or something, you're like, okay, what show do I want to watch? Oh, if it's one about an alien invasion, like we've seen a lot of those done already. But the humor layers, plus the realism of the piece, and in respect to the characterizations and the many layers, it seems, among the different characters where the series might be touching on. Because I look at the pool of people that are the survivors, and it seems to be a good range of occupation, demographics. It gives the series some depth, I think, where it adds on a realistic construction. At least this is, again, my first inclination in engaging with it. I find it to be strong on delivery. The comedy direction, pretty fun. Again, just... We'll see, you know, in terms of getting a better perspective. This is very much a first look, right? Early days. There's really nothing else to go on, at least from my understanding. No official trailer yet. And I don't think there's even an official release date unless they indicated that in the trailer and I missed it. May 12th. Okay, so we're probably getting a little more of time. Probably very soon, in fact. I find a fun project to engage with, or at least on first presumption, that might have mixed age appeal and respect. I don't know. Because it seems to be, for me, a project that anybody could watch. I think it's going to definitely appeal more to an older audience. Especially given some maybe the themes I mean, we're touching to some degree on the political system and the disruption that taking that out of the world, not by choice. I mean, it could get quite interesting. I mean, like I said, there's a depth that I sense with it. I like the one shot too, where it felt very patriotic to me with the flag. I'm like, it's animated very well. I mean, the sun's glowing back on these two. It's fun. I mean, and there's jokes that land. I thought the grenade pin was quite funny. I mean, what do you do in a case of a proposal where you don't have a ring? You improvise. I think it's a series of some strength, at least on my first impression of it. Maybe I could be wrong. You know, a trailer can only give a presence to so much. And maybe sometimes we watch a project at first glance and say, okay, this looks great. But then later we're like, okay, we watch the project in full and we say, you know, this could have been stronger. Maybe the trailer was deceiving. On the first look clip basis, I find this to be strong. That's my impression. I might be wrong, but I'm willing to believe that I'm accurate on it. And I would think, based on the way this is portrayed, and perhaps partly the animated style and the humor style, the specific jokes, and the levity of the material, that it's going to lean... It might lean more, again, on the denser side in the story to some respects in the adult teen audience, but it might have some appeal as a family watch, too. I mean, it could be fun, quality entertainment. I mean, again, I might be wrong. In so many cases, we are these days. And there are, you know, plenty of families out there that are looking for wholesome entertainment who oftentimes you'll find something that's snuck in, right? That's like, well, it taints the work immediately. So I don't know about this. Again, I think it's going to easily appeal to adults and older audiences, but maybe it could also appeal as a family watch. I don't know, but it looks strong, at least on first presence. And I will definitely humor it upon more. I'm assuming we'll get a trailer maybe within the next couple of weeks. We'll see, maybe in the next couple of days. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts of Mulligan, if this is a first consultation for you, or if you've engaged it before? Let me know what your thoughts are if you wish to disclose it down below. I'm curious. I will definitely, like I said, engage with it further. It looks fun. Looks engaging as a release, and I am looking towards what projects when I hop back on Netflix I'm not currently on at the moment. As I've said many times, I stack works. So it helps to accommodate me in regards to making my wallet happy, because I throw so much cash at streaming now, where I don't want to pile on services. I'd rather just go from, you know, one to the other. So I first consult projects, of course, with you, to the best of my ability. I stack them up at least in the back of my mind. I'm like, okay, at some point I will regard these when I hop back on. I'll watch them all in full, at least as many as I can get to, maybe in a month's period. Then I'll switch networks, right? I'll kind of hop around. So Mulligan, I will definitely keep in mind when I engage. I'm very curious to humor it. It looks fun, looks inviting, and the humor doesn't always land in every project you look at, but in this case, I feel it does. I'm willing to give it a go. And I'll definitely, like I said, if there's any more in the way of a trailer or something, which I assume there will be, I will engage it with you further. Maybe that'll give us even better sense of where this series is going. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.